Nadszedł czas zmiany, przejścia do prawdziwego działania wszechświata. I nadszedł czas, aby zrozumieć, że używamy stanu materii, by osiągnąć poziom zrozumienia duszy człowieka. Teraz rozumiesz, być może, dlaczego Kreator wysłał swoich posłańców w imię tego, co miałeś. To oni przynoszą uszy, aby można było ich użyć, gdy nadejdzie czas Mesjasza. Mogę nauczyć duszę i przesłanie, nie by się przeciwstawiać, ale poprzez ich zrozumienie, przez tych, którzy stali się Mesjaszami, aby dawać ze swoich dusz, aby ich elewować. Zadanie stało się łatwe. Szkoła jest tutaj i uczniowie są tutaj w oddaniu. Wtedy nie będzie żadnej walki między tym, co nazywają muzułmanami, a chrześcijanami. Baranek i lew będą jeść i spać w tym samym gnieździe. Chrześcijanie i muzułmanie będą spać i modlić się w meczecie, w tym samym kościele, w imię ich dusz, nie w imię religii, które są używane do tworzenia tak wielu konfliktów, dla korzyści tych, którzy byli hiperaktywnymi dziećmi. Nadszedł czas, czas zmian jest tutaj. I jak powiedziałem, moje życzenie jest moim rozkazem. Jeśli pragniesz ujrzeć pokój, droga pokoju jest wyłożona bardzo wyraźnie. To dusza świadomości zbiorowej. Poprzez dawanie stworzy tą pozycję zmiany. Nic innego. W duszy człowieka nie ma długopisu. Jestem pewien, że po wejściu do społeczności uniwersalnej nigdy nie zobaczysz niczego zapisanego, ale równowagę pól duszy egzystencji. Staraj się być na tyle pokornym, aby nie stać się aroganckim w mocy, którą zrozumiałeś i posiadłeś. Inaczej wpadniesz w tą samą ścieżkę kościoła i meczetu. To jest to, co obiecaliśmy i to właśnie dostarczyliśmy. Musimy zrozumieć działanie duszy. I musimy zrozumieć, że dusza człowieka jest gwiazdą w kosmosie wszechświata. Jeśli porównamy duszę człowieka i tak wielu nas, 7 miliardów w jednym zbiorze, Ziemia jest jak galaktyka z tak wieloma gwiazdami. Kiedy patrzymy w głąb wszechświata, widzimy galaktyki z setkami milionów gwiazd. Podobnie jest z planetą Ziemią. Niesie 7 miliardów pięknych gwiazd, które są duszą człowieka. Niesie z sobą duszę tak wielu trylionów zwierząt, roślin i wszystkiego innego. Jeśli więc patrzą ci, którzy nie widzą fizyczności Ziemi i jej zawartości, co widzą? Widzą galaktykę z wielką ilością pięknych, świecących świateł. Każda według swojej siły. Każda zgodnie ze swoją pozycją. Niemowlę ma piękną duszę, podobnie jak staruszek. Dla tych niefizycznych, którzy nie widzą fizycznego wymiaru tej planety, ale widzą siłę pola, jesteśmy gromadami gwiazd. Ludzka rasa, każda pojedyncza dusza, nikt z daleka nie widzi. To jest dusza rybaka, to jest dusza kosmologa, to jest dusza prezydenta. Wszystkie świecą bez względu na fizyczność. To jest magia. Oto co nowa nauka musi przynieść człowiekowi. Kiedy patrzymy przez naszą duszę, widzimy tylko gwiazdy w innych duszach. I to jest przełom, to jest zrozumienie. Na tym właśnie polegają te wszystkie nauki. Dojście do dojrzałości następnego poziomu, aby zrozumieć daleki kosmos. Wszechświat jest ostrygą dla tych dusz, które służą. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy do wejścia w kosmos. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy, aby stać się częścią uniwersalnej społeczności, która została obiecana. Nigdy nie obiecywałem wam nieba. Zawsze obiecywałem wam elewację człowieka, aby przyłączył się do rodziny. A teraz macie klucz. To wy musicie otworzyć drzwi, aby zrozumieć, że mogę elewować duszę tych ludzi lub milionów innych dusz, że fizyczne życie na tej planecie zmieni się. Wtedy jestem godny bycia częścią społeczności uniwersalnej, by być, aby służyć, aby się rozwijać, by być tam, aby być częścią, że w cyklu życia wszechświata staje się w byciu częścią, staje się częścią totalności. Kiedy człowiek osiągnie ten punkt, pojawi się nowy wymiar w sile duszy człowieka, który jest poza wyobrażeniem zrozumienia życia fizycznego. To jest brama do otwarcia nowego życia w nowym wymiarze, co jest poza wyobrażeniem tego, co mogliście nazwać nowym początkiem, nowym cyklem, gdzie ten cykl niesie ze sobą źródło stworzenia życia we wszechświecie i unikosie. To jest elewacja duszy, aby służyć. Stała się kluczem. Nie tron życia fizycznego. Czas jest odpowiedni, nadszedł czas, aby człowiek przeszedł przez ten proces. Witamy wszystkich na 269 warsztatach poszukiwaczy wiedzy w języku polskim. Dzisiaj mamy niedzielę, 23 czerwca 2019 rok. Tematem dzisiejszego spotkania jest 280 warsztat poszukiwaczy wiedzy. Jest to tłumaczenie od 20 minut do godziny 42 minut. W tym mamy około 5 minut problemów technicznych. Tak więc zapraszam do obejrzenia, wysłuchania i podzielenia się po tym wykładzie swoim zrozumieniem, swoim dodaniem do wiedzy. Tak więc zapraszam serdecznie do wysłuchania.
Yes, good morning to you, good day, as usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this series of knowledge seekers. It is interesting how we are gathering momentum towards one direction or another, and as you said, 280 cycle of teachings. How far we can go and how deep we understand more is, just as I said, the knowledge we gain up to now is a scratch on the surface of the knowledge of the universe. Would we gather enough to become strong enough to be able to stand what is to come? How we will come to understand our own strength, the strength of our knowledge, the strength of our what we call soul. Can we join a new dimension in understanding of it in our physical structure or in the structure of the soul of the man? In the past few weeks, we have concentrated heavy on certain things, main part of our work, which is towards peace. And some of you might understand sooner or later why we are so rigorously following this path. As you know, we saw some 3-4 weeks ago a possibility of massive war starting, which would have had no end. Because those of you who are familiar with geological position of Iran and Russia, next door neighbor, and then China next door to it, and the security of the oil fields in Iran, in the Persian Gulf, this was becoming a volatile point. And in a way, many of our work, many openness of the humanity work has led us to where we are. Today is a significance, it's amazingly significant for a lot of us to understand. Today is the 13th, which usually it brings an end to things. Things are bad, they end up. And we see that as an end of the wars. Today, 13th of June, is the beginning of the end of the wars, because today we have the Chinese, the Japanese Prime Minister in Tehran negotiating for peace with the Iranians on behalf of the Americans, because Americans realized them fighting had no corners, them fighting had no reasons, and many, many nations have turned back. The administration had to understand the end of wars has come, because this was the last war that anybody got together to do. As I said in the teaching last night, the European who gave hand to Americans to borrow money to make themselves bankrupt with the wars, they have literally walked against the wall. There is no nation supporting it. America was left on its own, and these kind of activities takes a lot of financial reserves and capital, which America does not have, as they are taxing their nations heavily to pay for the death of the pastime. It is not easy, it will not be easy, but today is the end of what we promised, end of wars. We will see an announcement out of Tehran within the next few hours, in the next 48 hours. We are putting hands of out for collaboration with the Chinese, what we call work we have done, and to the Americans, that we want peace. We expect negotiations to end up with peace. And with it, we have offered in writing to the American administration the opening of the Iranian space technology to the American government. This is a huge move. This means that we share the space technology of Iran in parallel with the Americans on an open basis. As long as all the sanctions are removed, Iran stands as a proud nation, and America gains some of its dignity back. In this process, we share the technology with the government of Russia and China in making a new, what we call, consortium or group of space development nations of Iran, China, Russia, and United States of America. This is an olive branch. This is a gift for peace. The offer has been submitted to the American administration in writing, and we know what is the outcome out of Tehran. On a positive outcome out of Tehran, American administration, American scientists can get access to the latest technology in the space program. We have committed ourselves to this, and we deliver personally to the American administration. And fully aware of the offer. This means we have opened the peace program to the American administration. This means that the edge of science technology, which the Americans wanted to achieve and gain through aggression, by coming to peace, will be gifted to them as a gift by a friend, by a nation who has the technology. This is the reward, this is the return, and this is the totality of what we have offered. Can you hear me? Am I clear?
Yes, you're clear. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, in that process, depending on what the Prime Minister of Japan returns and the negotiation completes in next coming times, in American administration, understanding the peace has a dividend, the dividend this time is a scientific level. As in our communicate to the American administration, knowledge in exchange for peace, and we will transfer the totality of the knowledge to the American scientists in one way or another, or as a joint collaboration between the four countries. This will allow us to open the space. In the direct communication to the American administration, we have clearly stated our terms, and they are fully aware that the financial position the Keshe Foundation has been put in by certain nations for space development, which is theirs, we are just developing the knowledge and technology, is very simple. They came to gain through war in understanding that it is not achievable. In the past times, we used to punish. This time we share that if somebody wants something, we'll look for it one way or another to create condition to get it. This situation would have carried on, which means the Americans would have found another excuse, breaking another condition, creating another mayhem, another excuse to get to Iran to get the technology. We are sharing the technology that there is no further excuse for these kind of behaviors, as the span of universe is so big that there is not enough man on this planet to support our excursion. There is a situation which I've explained in the recent past, and there is a situation which will come further on. As I said in the past, when we achieve this kind of movement, achieve this kind of peace processes, the leftover wars, like in Palestine, in Syria, in Yemen, they all will end in a few months, shortly after, maybe even sooner, as the American government needs to concentrate on paying its debts, paying what is committed itself financially before. On the other hand, there is going to be a further burden on these nations. What this means, many of the nations will not need military forces. We will see a massive reduction in military forces around the world as everything steps down. You have to understand that with the newest space technology, Iranian flights will land in Los Angeles in few minutes, and the American flights will land from Washington in Isfahan in a few minutes. We have overcome the borders, so we will see the wars will have no meaning, and military forces will be dissolved. As I explained in one of the teachings yesterday, this will put a huge burden on governments. How we handle millions, just about 1 billion unemployment that this condition will create. When you have nothing to fight, no borders to protect, as there is no one is there to threat, as we've seen in EU, there is no need for armies. What are we going to do? We have two choices: to put and close most of the military camps and put the soldiers on the, what we call, street, or change the hardware and retrain soldiers to become builders of the nations. If your nation is so well developed, you can develop the next door neighbor, because still there is no one next door neighbor, is part of you. This will create a lot of transition.
Hello, Mr. Keshe. We heard this will create a lot of transition, or a lot of something.
Yes, it will create a lot of transitional problem that the governments need to go through. The unemployment, the what we call change of a skill, all will come with it. And this is one of the positions that this peace dividend will create. How we're going to handle it, how the nations will handle it, is something to be seen. How we are moving so many soldiers which are sitting in different countries and nations to be moved back to home is another problem. We'll see a huge problem with the American forces in South Korea. We see huge problem with the Japanese forces, what they call American forces in Japan. All these need to be reassigned, needs to be redone, needs to be reprocessed, and at the same time needs to be understood that how we're going to help the United States of America to reposition some hundreds of thousands of forces back to United States. Or, as it's been tradition, as you all know, majority of the men of space in NASA program or military, would we put all the military people of different nations to become people of the frontiers of opening up the space for mankind? In so many ways, in space, we don't need to pay them wages. And in space, we don't need to give them any hardware to fight. We make a group of scientists out of soldiers who, in the process of work, learning, will bring more to us and allow us as human race to develop new skills. We don't need protections in space. So the new technology, the new sciences will bring us an amazing position that allows all of us to become as one family and put all the, what we call military people, all the scientists together to open the space. We have to find a new occupation. Some will go into production of new industries. The technology will offer new. Some of the new technologies we offer will create its own unemployment through the making the old technologies obsolete. The transition is very hard. The transition will be extremely hard for many nations to go through. But how we're going to transfer and translate this is another headache which is sitting on the horizon. Would the governments will go through understanding of the process that collectively they have to achieve peace, and collectively they have to find a solution for all these men of military we have armed over centuries. It's become a habit of a man to kill. It's become a habit of man to make soldiers, to defend imaginary lines for somebody's pride to be a leader, to be a king, to be head of something, without asking the others. In so many ways, today we see the end of wars, the beginning of peace. We see that mankind, as I said before, has killed so much, especially in the last century, that it has literally got tired of killing. Mankind has run out of energy to kill, and we've seen it. Europeans, who were always leading in invading and colonizing, have given up. Americans had to do it on their own, and they cannot pull. They cannot even pull 1,500 soldiers to bring. It's not there, it's committed somewhere else. And in a way, it's an embarrassment for a government who wants to invade, does not have the forces, but it has committed itself so much into it. It is a position that our forefathers have been dreaming about, getting to the point that we run out of energy to fight. In a way, we have run out of finances to fight, because now the fighting is inside the nations, people fighting their politicians to give them better life. Politicians are too busy trying to keep their nations happy that they don't have time to buy arms and do other things, even in the name of the armies. We have reached a point of maturity, and the last remnants of the wars, what we see, 2 or 3 of them, they will finish. Then it comes the process of contemplation in how, as a race, we will make, facilitate, and develop technologies and sciences which can help all of us, not just some of us. In this process, as I said, we've seen our friends with the old machinery are offering a trip to space for 30 days for $56 million. I think the new organization of the joint space programs, we will be interested in $56. We give the millions to the others. Because the space technology of today does not have fuel to burn, does not have the expenses which goes through, and at the same time has the power and the beauty to create food and life in space. You know, in the Roman time, if you lived in Italy, the Italians tell you, Italians in Roman time used to bear children, boys, that they could send them to become part of the Roman Empire army. Because when you had a son in the army, you got food. They would pay you as you gave a son for the nation. Now that we send our children into space, we don't need to worry about paying them or paying you, because in the space there is no food to buy as we give everything. And on this planet we make the life satisfactory for the rest. That if anybody wants to have more children and go to space, he knows the children in space are safe. We will not have hungry people in space. We will not have people who fight in space. I wonder if mankind even will carry a gun in space. And to what extent we mature in the next coming weeks, it will be a surprise for all of us. How would our governments react to the position of no war? I'm sure the Japanese Prime Minister has a lot to say in that position at the moment in Tehran. He has a lot to explain the guarantees that the Americans will give will be upheld and will not be broken as before. There are some trusts, some bridges which needs to be built. There is a need for a lot of understanding by both sides. I pray for the soul of Japanese Prime Minister, that through his soul, in meeting with Eminence Ayatollah Khamenei Iran and His Excellency President Rouhani, they come to a point to accept not the defeat by the American military, but the point of being proud that we have managed to bring peace on this planet through the power of knowledge and technology, and not through killing. You got to understand something very simple, which if you're not involved in politics and diplomacy, is very hard to contemplate. When a major power sends an envoy for peace talks, and they know that if a nation has managed to stop the ships and bring so many planes down, could have done the same in the land of the same nation, which means Iran could have taken this technology and literally practice it, deliver it in the United States, in cities and major capitals. But they didn't do. The Iranians did not show the power of their knowledge and technology by harming, as is the tradition of Iran, we defend ourselves out of strength. And this should be a hit to a lot of nations in the coming time. Having the power, having the knowledge should bring us to be more peaceful and not more arrogant. And I hope, and this is my biggest wish, as we have suggested, 2nd of August will be the time when President Trump will visit Tehran. The offer is on the table. The offer has been made to the American administration. And in so many ways, we have made a move. Knowledge, science, and technology for peace on behalf of the humanity to the governments of this planet. Many of you, when I gave the key away to the governments, went crazy with me. Wrote me everything you liked, that you betrayed us. You gave the technology to the Americans and the others, to the governments. They will never share it with us. And then we brought technology, we gave it to you lot for past 3 or 4 years. Governments didn't do anything with it for years. Then you lot just managed to make a few magravs and the others. And in that process, we now come to the point that you knowledge seekers have to do the reverse, which is very simply you have to work with your nations, to your governments, to transfer the knowledge to your government. What it means, you have to transfer the knowledge which you gain to your governments. We gave the keys to administration. We gave the knowledge to knowledge seekers. We allowed the knowledge to be shared directly between nations, nationals, governments equally. So what this brings to you is that now is your responsibility, now that we achieved world peace and the cornerstones of it is set in Tehran today. This was my wish, and we have achieved it. You will hear what will come out of Tehran. A little bit of rhetoric in the next few days. Some people don't like to say we did this, the other like to say we won, and both sides have to be the winner, otherwise they can't stand in front of the nation. Iran has a huge problem to sell to the nation. The Americans, who they have called the Satans and the biggest enemy for past 40 years, America has had a huge problem selling to his nation. These people we called, what we call terrorists, now they are here as tourists and they are bringing knowledge to us. You have to understand there's going to be a lot of selling to happen. The Iranians have to sell to the soul of the religion. The Americans have to sell to the soul of money. And somehow the two have to find a compromise. somehow it's not going to be an easy trip, but somehow the ticket has been bought. The journey has started as of yesterday by landing of the Prime Minister of Japan in Tehran. We have given all our supports to both sides, and we carry on giving our supports to both sides. It is the responsibility of both sides to find a way to change the way. The Iranian officials know how to do it. They've done it many times before. Hello, I'm back.
Yes, hello.
I think a lot of people don't like about what we are there, what we are doing, but it's good for them. They have to change a lot of things. Peace is very hard, you know, when you've been trying to fight for such a long time. Finding somebody to blame. In any case, in any way, as I said, we are talking directly to the American administration, trying to find a way to bring America into the 21st century space program, as they got stuck in 20th century, in 1960s, and they're still there. They're still trying to get to Mars and Moon in a very different way than the rest of us, that we know the new technologies allows. And in this process, we are hoping that the news out of Tehran will be good enough for all of us, that mankind will take a new steps in the direction of peace. And as I said, it's not easy. A lot of things has to be chewed up in the next 3-4 weeks by a lot of people, and a lot of concessions needs to be given, to be taken. And in so many ways, the peace dividend will be for all of us. Mankind has reached a point of what I call no return from wars. Do not want any more wars. And collectively, as a human race, we will see new evolution. We will see a new dimension, as Europeans are not in the war game anymore because they can't feed their nations. And everybody doesn't want to go to war because it's too good the way they're getting paid by the governments, the social services, social securities, and the rest of it. And, you know, when the time is good, why should we go to war? And we see it with other countries. There will be some skirmishes maybe between India and China, but that it'll be again very little bit. And we will see the resolution of a lot of problems around the world. As next 2 years, we have a huge problem with what we call unemployment through military forces, and we have to, with the new technology, to replace it. We have to create huge amount of jobs, and hopefully by end of this month, Keshe Foundation will make some announcement in that direction to start the process. Those of you who live in China might get the news before the others, and those of you who live in the United States might get some more news from that side. We are going through the progress to change, to complete, and hopefully in the coming days we'll give you some good news that it will change. It will bring a lot of changes for all of us and not for some of us. in trying to achieve peace, as we say, we're going to have the governments will have many soldiers, they have to find new ways and new things for. The same thing comes back to us as Keshe Foundation and all, that we have to deliver the promise of peace, the technology. What we promised, we have to fulfill. All of us, doesn't matter, you start different companies, different technologies, different aspects, research. We need to step up to cover and to bring about the new industrial revolution. We have to be able to deliver now that we have achieved. It's no use winning an election when you cannot deliver what you promised during the election. And this comes back to all of us. We came here, many of you wished, many of you delivered, many of you went through the process of understanding the technology to benefit by it one way or another, financially, maybe some other ways. And now, in the next coming months and weeks, we have to deliver. It's not time of the talk anymore. Keshe Foundation, you're supporters of the new technology. You all need to be ready to deliver what you wish for. How do we bring this technology to be understood? How we bring this technology to be mass taught? How we bring this technology to become the frontier of sciences in next years to come? The same as the government is not going to be all tomorrow. It's going to take time. We have time to build it. We have time to gain it. And we have the opportunity to be able to create the condition. Hopefully, in the coming days, we will increase the teachings, live teachings, in the coming months to follow up teaching people, teaching the new technology. And those of you who are very close to the foundation work, you know what is to come, what is about to come. And we all need to be ready for what is to hit us. We pushed, we did, we made cancers, we changed humanity. Now your wish was peace. Now, to hold on to peace, you have to create the condition of peace and hold on to it. We have to deliver in every front, be it from the space side, be it from the energy side, be it from agriculture, be it on every front, which we said we won the election, we have achieved peace. Now, collectively, we have to deliver that we guarantee nations security, food, warmth, energy. And thanks to what I call beautiful Tesla, he has managed to get mankind to do the job for today. What does this mean? As you know, one of the problems most of you knowledge seekers have is that you have not realized a massive critical point. None of you knowledge seekers have understood one of the cornerstone principles of the technology. And this has become a mayhem for a lot of you. What does this mean? Today's teaching is trying to sort out the, as we say in English, boots from the chaff. What it means is we have to understand what is involved. A lot of you have worked but never understood, and a lot of you have understood some of it but you could not connect. Let me explain to you what I'm trying to say, and then we take it further. You have to look at something which is very important. In our technology, in the teachings, we have continuously referred to two levels of ganses. Matter state gans. Can you hear me, Rick?
Yes.
Okay. We have a matter state gans and we have an energy state gans. These have to be understood. And many of you have not come to the level to understand that the matter energy gans leads to the condition of life. Cu, zinc, CH3.
Mr. Keshe, we're not getting your screen sharing coming through yet.
Very strange. I can see it. You can't see it?
No, it's black at this end. Maybe try it again, just to reshare the screen sharing.
Share the screen share. I stop. I go out. I do everything. Oh, I can leave the meeting. They want me to leave the meeting. I better leave and come back in. Okay. To reduce the load, we have come in different way. The screen comes through another channel. It's not on the same channel.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see it?
Not yet. Something's changing. Okay, we get the usual black screen now, and we're waiting for it to go into the white.
There's a lot of complication, a lot of government sitting on the watch.
Still black at this point.
Yeah, are you sure you're on the right channel? Because I'm using two different lines. One says still waiting to share a screen, and on mine I see already shared.
Okay, then maybe you need...
I tell you what I'm gonna do. Just wait 1 second.
You probably
shut down and restart the computer. Anyway, what I was trying to explain is that most of you have not separated the two sides of the science, the technology. What does this mean? As I said, the technology has two sides. This technology has the universal part, it has a light part, and he has a matter part. In the matter part, which is the life of the man, you use CuO, zinc oxide, and everything else, and then you try to get the small energy from the matter part to create lift and motion. What does this mean? Is that the knowledge seekers have to understand the total process and not part of the process. And a lot of people go between one or the other, or they mix it together. And this is part of why you do not achieve, or you cannot achieve many of the things you set out to do. I've seen people trying to work between the two. Can you see this, the screen share now?
No, we can't.
Very strange. The screen share is not coming through. Do you see my both lines on?
We see both lines in the panelists list. Flint mentions when you see your whiteboard on both of your devices, that's when we can see your share.
I have shared.
Can you see the whiteboard in both of your devices?
Yes, yes, both times.
Huh.
I see it on my screen, and it comes up, it writes. If I go on the participants, I see all the participants.
Well, how about I set up a whiteboard and you can mark on it if you can see it.
Okay, do it that way. I moved.
There we go.
Back
No,
is that yours or mine?
That's Flint's screen, so he's done that just as I was saying.
I think you better do it, Rick, than Flint. Can you go back and switch it over?
Can't you work with?
If we need anything. Okay, Flint, can you switch off and can you come on? Because you have an Apple, he doesn't have an Apple, I cannot work.
Oh, possibly, okay.
Yeah, okay.
It should all work, but maybe not.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't give you that annotate. Okay, now we can. Can you see me now?
Just a second here, and I think that should be correct, yes. Can see the markings. The right, yeah.
Okay, so it works. There is something wrong with the program. Okay, so what I was talking about is that the ganses we work with is the ganses which we use for matter state, what we call the life, or the ganses which we use for energy. And many knowledge seekers have not understood the difference between the use of these two. In medical application, in food application, we use usually these. In energy application, in a space movement application, we use this. I've seen some people are trying to cross line. This is very difficult. You remember the universe transition matter state. When you work in the Ganser state, which is here, sometimes it's not so easy to go back that way, unless you know how to play the game. But if you are on this stage, you can come down and you can make the matter state is easier. In this process, you release energy. Majority of time in this process, you gain energy. CO2, CO2, ZNO. If we look, these are all alkaline or gravitational. These are all acidic or energy giving. In the coming time, those of you who work with these systems, especially with magnetic systems, especially with a dynamic system, energy or lift, you have to understand what you set your systems for. Many of you, when you make a coils and you cover it with CO and the rest, many of you, when you make your coils and you cover it with these kind of things, you get different results. You got to understand that a hydrogen a deuterium and a tritium have different needs, and they can be used in a specific way for gravitational or magnetic also. And the energy release from these can lead to the creation of these. From plasma, we can create matter. We can create energy of the matter. We can create the condition of energy of the matter. With the bigger elements, we have problem to achieve these kind of things. Those of you who go towards the understanding of the motion and travel in the space, you have to understand a further knowledge. I have explained this in the past few days, and I try, because I see problems and I try to solve a problem before, but now we are ready for it, as we have to get man into a space. If you look at it in a matter state, the gravitational field forces are tight to keep a molecule in its position. Strong and tight to keep an atomic structure into molecular structure, to keep so many atoms or so many electrons or protons and whatever together. But If you look at the structure of the planetary system, solar system, the energies are very weak, extremely weak. There is a star there, a galaxy here, another force of universe there, billions and billions of kilometers away. The field has had many battles on its way with other fields to get to us. Tantalizingly weak, tantalizingly beautiful to play. What this means for the reverse technology of the universe, mankind has to learn to fly. You do not need the strong field forces. To create matter and hold on to, even as GANs, you need strong fields in the location where you are. And if the knowledge seekers understand this, man will become man of the space in a few seconds. The mistake made by most of us knowledge seekers, they're still in a camel bird story. They think they are in a rocket propulsion, but they want to work with advanced technology. Fill it up, pack it in, do what you like. Sorry, there is no star so close with this power. We are deadlocked. This is where I've seen for a long time knowledge seekers play. Doesn't work this, I put gans of CO2, I put zinc in, I put this in, I put that in. If you look at the Chinese flight system, we have not used anything but these three. In your medical system, yes, you have to use CU blah blah to be the light on site. In space technology, you have to understand what you're doing. And this is the problem with, we've just been sitting around the foundation for some times, and I always thought one day when they're ready to go to space, I explain it. It's no use mixing this with this and expecting something miracle. Because all it is energy conversion. You hit a high energy to a solid body, you get it. If you know how to take the energy out, you might create a few volts. As the English said, horses for courses. The sooner our knowledge seekers understand this criteria and connection and conversion between it, then we are in a very smooth way to take off flights. If you look at the condition of this planet, you have the energies which come. And in the process with the energy of the, what we call inertia of the copper, they change into copper. And if the gravitational magnetic field of zinc is there, they change to zinc. These are energy packs. These are inertia packs. Depending on the gravitational magnetic field of the structure, you dictate in that reaction at this point what is created. So, gravitational magnetic field of the Earth, in conjunction with the energy which enters the Earth through what we call plasma fields of hydrogen, dictates in that point what is to be made. Very few elements on this planet are made out of volcanic eruptions or other things. The rest of the materials on this planet have entered this planet this way, become part of this planet this way. Because if there was an iron and something else and the balance energy was zinc, the field which come in now creates zinc. If there was an eruption and everything else that creates the condition of the field transfer, what we call heat, then it could be a copper. If you understand this and understand the completion of the work, that in the direction of the energy field forces transfer, at a weak field somewhere we might find the match for planet Zeus. And somewhere we might find the match for the moon. It's very faint compared to the magnets which we hold in hand in the matter state. We have to start measuring these. At the same time, we have to know in what strength our planet is giving to the moon. What is the return factor? What is strength? You are weaker in the magnetical at the point of arrival. You are stronger at the gravitational of the point where magnetical has come in. Because by law of plasma, the stronger feeds the weaker, and the stronger feeds the weaker. Is the matter state of the planet at the weaker state compared to the moon, which the moon can affect it. At the same time, Earth creates the same pressure to give, because now its gravitational is stronger for the moon to receive. If we understand this principle, if the knowledge seekers and the men of space understand this principle, you will all understand you don't need to burn any fuel. All you need to do in interaction of the fields in your system, if you can create a friction enough or distance gap energy strength enough to be of this strength, hello, the source, what it might be, because as I receive it, I know this always have the same reflection back, but on the weak of the strongest strength to feed, and voila, I'm on a sailing boat of the universe magnetic field. In matter state, we measure the strength of the wind. In plasma state, we measure the strength of the magnetic field in the line of connection. Then we can fly. Don't forget, if you understood this, something becomes very apparent and very clear, is that if this is your system and this is planet Zeus, if you are stronger, you are pushed away. If you are weaker, you are pulled in. And all you need is the system inside. What am I going to produce? The stronger fields or weaker fields? A stronger fields for me to become the giver and get pulled in, or weaker field that is the reverse. In the coming time, mankind will have and build systems which measure these fields, and then you can enter. When you have the planet Earth, the position of the planet Earth is not decided so much by the sun, but by billions and billions of weaker fields in the solar system, and some in the galaxy, and some in the universe. We are a closed shell, but at the same time, the condition of outside determines and affects our work. In understanding this, then many of you as knowledge seekers have to step forward and understand what happens when you put the two together. Can you convert, or do I just create a barrier? And those of you who have matured to this knowledge, then you can start playing a lot of games. Our game in Keshe Foundation is this. Because this we cannot find everywhere in the universe. The operation of the brain and the soul of the man is at this level. That is why you don't have no blood, no hemoglobin, no metals, nothing. And in a coming time, when mankind learns a little bit more about knowledge of his own brain, you will find out, as we say, even though some of the gravitational magnetic fields of the elements can manifest themselves to be in the strength of the zinc or magnesium or whatever, essentially all the layers of the brain of the man which control the soul of the man are made of different strength, plasmatic fields of what we call neutron. If it's hard for you to understand, it's very simple to explain. If you get a drop of oil and you put it in the water and start heavily rotate it, shake it, brush it, whatever you do with it, you will see the white form, the thickening. And if you understand the process of the receipt of energy by the brain of the man, in conjunction with the speed of the rotation of the fields of the body of the man, and even in the womb of the mother, will create that stirring. And in so many ways, if you understand this, then you understand how brain cells are created. You have to understand, if you go back in the very early teachings, part of the teachings even recently I referred to, when you have an egg and a sperm coming together, where they make the third in balanced energy they're trying, they absorb energy from the environment of the womb of the mother. These guys are extremely dynamic. They're a machine at the highest speed rotation. So in that process, they stir up a very nice white foam called the brain of the man. And in so many ways, through the energy of the blood vessels outside the boundary, they are controlled and they're dictated. If you understand this and take the knowledge a step further, it is very easy that it will be essentially unthinkable, but if you understand it, very practical, to build brains, control systems on the same basis for the spaceships of the future. In a way, you build a new communication system to fit the space technology you have built. Even though it will talk to you, it'll have a feeling like you and everything else, except the physical condition of arms and legs. And it essentially will hold its own soul. Then you understand how the communication, the interaction, the existence of the physicality and the soul of the man, space travel and energy and food, interconnected. Then it has become easier for you to start developing this technology that the mankind can make the space of universe. You've all been looking for a control system for your flight systems. It was easy. We call it in the English language a minus. And the minus of brain of the man is made out of the combination of the strength of the hydrogen. That in interaction with each other, they mimic the strength of the physical body, what they're connected to. Then making system controls which are beyond the speed of light according to the need of the system, for the first time you understand, has become possible. But this time you cannot make the minus by putting something to stir it. You have to create a minus which is created out of the interaction of the fields of the universe, which does not need oil, but it needs conversion of the energy, which we call it the soul of the man. Then you understand in a simple language that, let's say, the sun is the soul of this solar system, and you see no carbon, no zinc and whatever in it, but in the interaction of the fields of internal dimension and structure creates fields that in its strength at some point will converge in its shell to copper or zinc, according to the point of the arrival. Then now you understand how the next generation of wireless communication systems, what you call computers, are achievable. Mankind has to move in the next step. Mankind has to start moving to understand the totality of the structure. As I said, mankind has moved towards peace. We have to give man something to be busy with that understands now he can make a condition, the new systems of wireless zero-time communication, like a brain of the man, as you have. There is no wires in there, but everything communicates. But then you have to understand the strength of the fields, what mixture is put into there, how you allow it to be there. Can my flight system feel its environment? Can the flight system have an emotion? Understand that it's traveling amongst life in a space without physicality, and like you, that you don't like to step on the ants because they are a being, will avoid them. Because it feels their strength. Now, for the first time, we have released this knowledge. But it will take mankind sometimes to understand it, because now that we have made clear the separation between the control and physicality, now we have to understand the motion which can be controlled through the dimension of the same. Otherwise, you cannot control your systems. If you use flight systems which are copper in it, and you enter in a zone which is strong and in so many ways can dilute the energy of the copper, you lost your space, you are falling into the skies. in the open span of the universe. But if you understand the structure of the work of the universe in the dimension of material and matter state, which is again connected to the structure of the hydrogen as one cell complete, what you call deuterium, then you hold on to physicality of the direction and dimension. These are the new technologies which mankind has no choice but to understand. With the teaching of today, if those of you who understood, we have taught you how to bake in a way a system, a control manner, the same as the brain of the man without need any wiring. By gravitational magnetic field positioning, by dimension of the thoughts, by dimension of the emotion. When there is a need in the environmental energy dimension, then we will see what the control system will release. It's exactly like the way your brain releases so much enzymes because you've eaten this food, it releases so much things because you're in temperature and everything else. Now, if you understood how to build the structure of the control or the brain of the system, which is not necessarily tangible but exists, then mankind has entered the next dimension of knowledge of the universe. And it will be very interesting to see how many of you very rapidly will convert to this process. And if you understood this process, then you could create the same. Travel from here to moon is seconds. Travel from here to the other dimension of the galaxies is zero time. Because when you're on the winds of the universe in the direction of their motion, you become their passengers at the speed that they go. The beauty with this travel is its frictions. There are no friction. Because the magnetic fields do not reach the matter state strength. Unless you reach the point of destination. Today, in past few minutes, I have taught you what the mankind has been yearning to understand for years and centuries. It'll take you some time to digest it. It'll take you some time to understand it and replicate it. But in essence, the basic knowledge of the existence is here and exists. And in different strength has different colors to the eye of the observer. But if you remember something very simple in all the teachings, and that was how you compact is how you are observed. And don't forget, all elements in plasma technology are gravitational magnetically positioned. then you understand why even the brain of the man has different colors. How compact they are gives them different color. And why do they become compact? And what's the purpose of suddenly changing? Because of the compactness, because of the energy pack, because of what you have put in there according to the field strength of the conversion. And if you understand these, how to make it, how to do it, how it's done, then you can do a lot of things. Controlling massive pests, controlling massive conditions, but you have to understand the process of their life. You have to understand the process of the emotion. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. And once again, I'll remind the attendees, you can put your
A więc mamy koniec tłumaczenia na dzisiaj. Myślę, że koniec ten dzisiejszej części tego warsztatu był bardzo interesujący. No i nie wiem jak wy, ale ja to chyba bym musiał to jeszcze raz sobie przesłuchać albo i wielokrotnie, żeby to tak dogłębniej zrozumieć, ponieważ tu było naprawdę dużo i ciekawie, jeżeli chodzi o transmutację tych pierwiastków, zmianę tej miedzi w wodór, jeszcze do końca nie wiem, poprzez stan emocji, poprzez bycie jakby słabszym w sile, by wciągnąć się w daną jakby w daną lukę pól, w której ta podróż jakby była w stanie w czasie zerowym, czyli na tak wiele sposobów. Musimy to sobie jakby chyba jeszcze rozłożyć na czynniki pierwsze. Z tym, co jeszcze Paweł wcześniej tam słyszałem, mówił gdzieś chyba na blogu, napisał, też jest dosyć, to jest ciekawe, czyli pokoleniowość w polach, jak to nazywamy. Nie wiem, jakby ktoś chciał coś dodać od siebie i powiedzieć może na swój sposób, jak to rozumie, to bardzo serdecznie zapraszam. Lub może jakieś pytanie i kolektywnie może jakby rozłożymy to i spróbujemy odpowiedzieć na nie. Także słucham, jeśli ktoś jest, to proszę bardzo. No dobrze, jeśli nie ma pytań, nie ma wypowiedzi, to myślę, że może na następnym warsztacie poruszymy to całościowo i spróbujemy jakby dopowiedzieć, może jakieś nowe zrozumienia by nam przyszły. Tak więc może będzie Paweł, Przemek, także spróbujemy to sobie jakby nakreślić, rozebrać na jakieś fragmenty i spróbujemy omówić. Tak więc dziękuję za dzisiejszy dzień. Życzę miłej nocy. Dziękuję za przetłumaczenie tego fragmentu i ogólnie za te wszystkie, które były wcześniej. No i życzę dobrej nocy. Tak więc do usłyszenia. To były 269. warsztaty poszukiwaczy wiedzy w języku polskim z dnia niedzieli 23 czerwca 2019 roku. Tak więc do usłyszenia. Nadszedł czas zmiany, przejścia do prawdziwego działania wszechświata. I nadszedł czas, aby zrozumieć, że używamy stanu materii, by osiągnąć poziom zrozumienia duszy człowieka. Teraz rozumiesz, być może, dlaczego Kreator wysłał swoich posłańców w imię tego, co miałeś. To oni przynoszą uszy, aby można było ich użyć, gdy nadejdzie czas Mesjasza. Mogę nauczyć duszę i przesłanie. Nie by się przeciwstawiać, ale poprzez ich zrozumienie, przez tych, którzy stali się Mesjaszami, aby dawać ze swoich dusz, aby ich elewować. Zadanie stało się łatwe. Szkoła jest tutaj i uczniowie są tutaj w oddaniu. Wtedy nie będzie żadnej walki między tym, co nazywają muzułmanami, a chrześcijanami. Baranek i lew będą jeść i spać w tym samym gnieździe. Chrześcijanie i muzułmanie będą spać i modlić się w meczecie, w tym samym kościele, w imię ich dusz, nie w imię religii, które są używane do tworzenia tak wielu konfliktów, dla korzyści tych, którzy byli hiperaktywnymi dziećmi. Nadszedł czas, czas zmian jest tutaj. I jak powiedziałem, moje życzenie jest moim rozkazem. Jeśli pragniesz ujrzeć pokój, droga pokoju jest wyłożona bardzo wyraźnie. To dusza świadomości zbiorowej. Poprzez dawanie stworzy tą pozycję zmiany. Nic innego. W duszy człowieka nie ma długopisu. Jestem pewien, że po wejściu do społeczności uniwersalnej nigdy nie zobaczysz niczego zapisanego, ale równowagę pól duszy egzystencji. Staraj się być na tyle pokornym, aby nie stać się aroganckim w mocy, którą zrozumiałeś i posiadłeś. Inaczej wpadniesz w tą samą ścieżkę kościoła i meczetu. To jest to, co obiecaliśmy i to właśnie dostarczyliśmy. Musimy zrozumieć działanie duszy i musimy zrozumieć, że dusza człowieka jest gwiazdą w kosmosie wszechświata. Jeśli porównamy duszę człowieka i tak wielu nas, 7 miliardów w jednym zbiorze, Ziemia jest jak galaktyka z tak wieloma gwiazdami. Kiedy patrzymy w głąb wszechświata, widzimy galaktyki z setkami milionów gwiazd. Podobnie jest z planetą Ziemią. Niesie 7 miliardów pięknych gwiazd, które są duszą człowieka. Niesie z sobą duszę tak wielu trylionów zwierząt, roślin i wszystkiego innego. Jeśli więc patrzą ci, którzy nie widzą fizyczności Ziemi i jej zawartości, co widzą? Widzą galaktykę z wielką ilością pięknych, świecących świateł. Każda według swojej siły. Każda zgodnie ze swoją pozycją. Niemowlę ma piękną duszę, podobnie jak staruszek. Dla tych niefizycznych, którzy nie widzą fizycznego wymiaru tej planety, ale widzą siłę pola, jesteśmy gromadami gwiazd. Ludzka rasa, każda pojedyncza dusza, nikt z daleka nie widzi. To jest dusza rybaka, to jest dusza kosmologa, to jest dusza prezydenta. Wszystkie świecą bez względu na fizyczność. To jest magia. Oto, co nowa nauka musi przynieść człowiekowi. Kiedy patrzymy przez naszą duszę, widzimy tylko gwiazdy w innych duszach. I to jest przełom, to jest zrozumienie. Na tym właśnie polegają te wszystkie nauki. Dojście do dojrzałości następnego poziomu, aby zrozumieć daleki kosmos. Wszechświat jest ostrygą dla tych dusz, które służą. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy do wejścia w kosmos. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy, aby stać się częścią uniwersalnej społeczności, która została obiecana. Nigdy nie obiecywałem wam nieba. Zawsze obiecywałem wam elewację człowieka, aby przyłączył się do rodziny. A teraz macie klucz. To wy musicie otworzyć drzwi, aby zrozumieć, że mogę elewować duszę tych ludzi lub milionów innych dusz. Że fizyczne życie na tej planecie zmieni się. Wtedy jestem godny bycia częścią społeczności uniwersalnej. By być, aby służyć, aby się rozwijać, by być tam, aby być częścią, że w cyklu życia wszechświata staje się w byciu częścią, staje się częścią totalności. Kiedy człowiek osiągnie ten punkt, pojawi się nowy wymiar w sile duszy człowieka, który jest poza wyobrażeniem zrozumienia życia fizycznego. To jest brama do otwarcia nowego życia w nowym wymiarze, co jest poza wyobrażeniem tego, co mogliście nazwać nowym początkiem, nowym cyklem, gdzie ten cykl niesie ze sobą źródło stworzenia życia we wszechświecie i unikosie. To jest elewacja duszy, aby służyć. Stała się kluczem. Nie tron życia fizycznego. Czas jest odpowiedni, nadszedł czas, aby człowiek przeszedł przez ten proces.